Which 401k rollover option will you choose? What's up, retirement planners? Eventually, you are going to quit working for your current employer. That may mean you go to a new job or you retire completely. But when you do, you're going to have to determine what to do with your 401k. And there are four main options with what you can do with your 401k when you quit your current employer. And not all of the options are created equal. Some are going to be better for different people in different circumstances. And you want to make the best choice for you. So let's talk about the four options. Option number one, you can take a lump sum distribution of your 401k. This means you take all the money, you cash it out, you're going to pay all the taxes on it. It's probably going to put you into a higher marginal tax bracket. You'll also lose tax deferral on your 401k funds as well. This is probably the worst of the four options. Option number two, if you're going to a new employer, your new employer may allow you to take your 401k from your old employer and roll it into your new employer's 401k plan. Now, why would you want to do this instead of just establishing an IRA that you could put your funds into? Well, as you may know, when you reach age 70 and a half, the IRS requires you to take required minimum distributions off of your qualified funds, things like your IRAs, 401k. However, there is a loophole. If you are still working beyond the age of 70 and a half, then you don't have to take required minimum distributions from the 401k that you hold at your current employer. So if you plan on working past the age of 70 and a half, then it may make sense for you to roll your 401k from your old employer into your new employer and keep it there, and you can delay having to do the required minimum distributions beyond the age of 70 and a half. Option number three, you could leave your 401k at your old employer. Now, why would you want to do this instead of rolling it over into an IRA? Well, one reason is that you may need to access these funds before you reach the age of 59 and a half. As you may know, the IRS puts a 10% penalty against people under most circumstances when they pull money out of their IRA or their 401k before the age of 59 and a half. However, there is an exception to this rule. If you quit work in the calendar year that you turn 55, then you're able to pull your funds out of that 401k from your current employer that you quit work from recently before you reach the age 59 and a half, and you don't have to pay the 10% penalty to the IRS. This only applies to the 401k at the employer that you worked at when you quit work in the calendar year that you were going to turn 55 or older. So if you need funds to hold you over until the age of 59 and a half and you want to access those without paying the penalty to the IRS, then you may want to keep a portion of those in the 401k at your old employer if you quit that employer in the calendar year that you turned 55 or older. Option number four, you can roll your 401k into an IRA. If the rollover is done properly, you can continue to defer taxes until you eventually draw the money out to spend on yourself for your retirement living expenses. And this is probably one of the most common options that retirees do when they are going to retire. And the reason is it gives them a lot of flexibility. They have access to a lot more investments and they can do a lot more with their money to prepare them and plan for their retirement. For example, they can take a portion of this 401k and put it into an IRA that's managed money in the market that gives you the potential for greater growth. And you can take a portion of the 401k funds and roll another portion into an IRA that's in a fixed annuity that has more conservative growth but no downside loss if the market goes down. You can even take another portion of it for liquidity purposes, just to have cash on hand, and roll it into a CD at the bank that's also an IRA so that you continue your tax deferral. So you can do all these things and a lot more when you roll into an IRA from your 401k plan, and if you do it right, you can keep the tax deferral